Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Giuseppina, it's Italian, and I talk about various healing topics, and a lot of them have had to do with autism and my experience with that, and our self-awareness. And Halo wants to join the video today. Halo, you gonna join today? Here, let me see if I can get him. Oops. Halo. That's Halo. Okay, so yeah, so talk about my healing experience and self awareness and stuff. I've been really sharing it. Most of my topics are me sharing my experience. If you're new here, thank you for being here, and like and subscribe if you can. I'd really appreciate it. And welcome back for everyone who is coming back. And so let's begin. Halo wants attention, so he's just gonna try to dump everything off of here. Halo, come on, buddy. And so let's begin. So, oh, by the way, I did the first Calm Collective February 7th, and it went really, really well, and I got really, really great feedback for that. I have to update my website, but I've been off this weekend. I've been really busy, and so I've kind of given myself a break. This is why this video is late in being posted, and I just have given myself a break. I haven't been posting on my social media. I haven't like my healing page, and I just have really just given myself a break. So what I wanted to say was that I have the next one happening because it went so well, and this is a monthly group hypno, and it is the Calm Collective. That's the title I put it. So the Calm Collective is a monthly group hypnotherapy if you've never been. It's essentially, I just chat for a bit and then I start into a hypnotherapy session. And if you've never done that before, it's kind of like a soul massage, I call it. It's a massage for your subconscious, and it is incredibly deeply relaxing for those of us who are sensitive, autistic, or just overwhelmed, or maybe have anxiety and stuff like that. It's an excellent thing to help you with your sensory overwhelm. It helps you to just kind of release and just be in the space of calm and relaxation. And I do beautiful top down and just kind of instill statements for serenity, peace, calm, being grounded, and inner bodies and things like that, which is important for those of us who become overwhelmed. We often check out and disassociate. So it's a very beautiful thing. I'm very proud of it. And the second one is happening on Friday, March 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'll link it in the comments below. If this is something you're interested in, you should definitely check it out. It's such a beautiful experience. It is a pay what you can event. Normally, my group hypnotherapy online would be like about $25, but I have put it as a pay what you can, just so that I know a lot of people who struggle and maybe it can't work and things like that. And so you can just pay like a small donation, very minimal donation to attend, and still reap the rewards of having group hypnotherapy. And it's a beautiful experience. You can read the comments on the website that show what other people said about that experience. So definitely come check us out and join us. Okay, so let's start into today's topic. I'm going to talk about how, you know, autistic people often pick up the slack for other people, like in workplaces and school and things like that. I'll start with one thing, like hands up if you hated group projects. Hands, another hand up if you hated group projects. One of the main reasons is because you might get tacked with like, is that tacked? Tacked with like all the work we get tacked onto you. Like there's just so many things that happen when we're in places. I think that one of the things that I experience a lot, whether it's in workplaces or in school, is that I had very specific ways of doing things. I also liked to do all the steps. I also liked to have, like, a method, a rhythm, a route, and I liked to follow all of the steps. I liked to follow all the rules when it comes to doing all the work. I used to be a perfectionist. I used to think that all this is because I'm a Virgo, but really there was much more at play under the hood of the car than me just being a Virgo and being a perfectionist. So because of that, and other people not doing the stuff, we end up kind of just doing more of it. Oftentimes, when I would be school was a very long time for me, and I don't have a lot of memories of school and what transpired there. But I know I hated projects. I do remember that we won the science fair project one time on mathematics, and I had done like all the work for it and stuff. And my teacher, this was grade four, my teacher had paired me with this boy who, sorry, Tony, but he wasn't a very smart boy in class. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just his I don't know, his intelligence, whatever you want to call it, was at a much lower level. I was a gifted student. My IQ is very high, and I, on top of that, was very quiet, and I did not say anything. And so I, it was a very difficult situation because he didn't do any work and he didn't care. And I did. I cared a lot. And so I went out of my way to do like the work, and we won the science fair project, and you have those boards and you're in a gym and you have everyone showing around. So we won that. And then when we had to redo the science project, uh, we had to redo now the whole thing and do a brand new board and do all this new information and everything because we were joining a competition for all the schools. If you win the science fair project at your school, then you go on to compete at another thing. I forgot about this, me winning the science fair project. And so we went on to compete, and he essentially did none of the work, and I had to do it. And it was a lot of work because you had to really step it up if you were competing in a thing. And because I didn't have any support at home, like with like my family, my parents, and things like that, and having to do it on my own, I just kind of like had a sister. I think my sister helped me, and we just I didn't know what to do. We had no direction, no guidance, and it just kind of like was like on me. And I was only like 10 at the time, or however old I was. And then I remember, because it was only on me and I didn't have any resources, any support, or any guidance, um, and feeling, whatchamacallit, because you're left to pick up the slack. Sometimes it's fine. Like, I won the science fair project the first time around, but the second time around, then all of a sudden, maybe as a result of knowing now what PDA is, maybe there was a bit of a shutdown on my side too. And so we totally bombed. The teacher hated our board, and he just redid the whole thing and put photocopies on it. And I remember this because I was like so like traumatized by this experience because I used to do so well at school, and every time I got paired with these people that just didn't operate the way that I did, it always ended really badly for me. And so um because I would always be the one who would have to do the work, and then I would always be the one who suffers at the end of it. So in workplaces, it ended up that pattern ended up continuing when I would work and I would do things, whether it would be the task that had to be completed, whether it was like the way you maybe clean something, the way you the information that I had, I was always just like operating at this level, whereas the other employees were like, sometimes some of them would operate at this level too, but most of them did not operate at this level. And so, because the other ones are just kind of doing partial things, you're always the one who ends up getting the slack. And what I've noticed is that when you are the one who's doing the most work and everyone else is like mediocre and doing barely anything, you're always the one who gets crap on by your employer because they have this expectation of you because you're the one who does most of the work. And so you always are the one who has to pick up the slack and who gets like who has to bear the cross and all that stuff. And this is a pattern that I've definitely recognized in myself later on. I did not realize this pattern until much later, maybe like a couple of years ago, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago or something. I recognized that this was happening. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, why do I get crapped on so much when I'm the one who's like doing like so much here and doing everything like perfectly, and my work is always like this, and yet these people are doing nothing and I'm the one who gets yelled at because your expectation is always higher for the people who do more. And so you pick up the slack of these people who are not doing anything all the time. And so this was my experience, and I am curious if anyone else experienced situations like that. And because I did not know how to advocate for myself, because I didn't know how to speak, like up until like my 20s, mid 20s, I pretty much had selective mutism and I would not speak up at all. I would be like pretty much mute at work and not say anything, even at school and stuff in situations. And so it was such an interesting experience because I didn't speak up for myself, and it took me a long time to learn how to speak up for myself. And so because you don't speak up for yourself, you would often get, like I said, you get the short end of the stick, you get taken advantage of, you get um the the chopping block would always come down on you. You would always get screwed one way or another, and you'd always have to still pick up the slack from everyone else. It would always fall on you. And so this has always been in my experience in those places of work, even in this job that I just had now. Always I was the one with the least amount of um, responsibility, and yet all the responsibilities seem to have always, an expectation always fell on my shoulders for whatever reason. And it's just like, just seems that way all the time. And I think part of the reason too is that we care, because we really genuinely care, and about the things that we do, and the work, the how much we invest in things, the intention we put towards things, where we operate at a very different level. And so when we're doing something, it might just be a job for some people, but for us, it's just the way we are. This is the way I am. My actions are of who I am, the kind of person I am, are evident in every way that I show up. Not just in the way I am with my friend. They show up with how I am with strangers. They show up in the way that I am at work and my working style. The way who I am is the same all across the board. How I am on here is how I am in person. And so this isn't normal, like for neurotypical people. Like this isn't the norm. People are very like fake and different, and like, and it's not the same as masking, because you can be like, try to like fit in for safety reasons, mostly like when you're trying to not be, that's another story. When you're masking, you're doing it for safety because you don't want to be like castigated and things like that. But my work ethics have always been like incredible and things like that, and you bear the brunt of all this stuff because of that. You're always picking up the slack. So I'm curious what your experience is with that. And this is why it's important that we learn how to advocate for ourselves. Why we are, for those of us who are better at, um, you know, being vocal and things like that, and who can speak, to advocate for others. This is how come I became like a union steward, and why I also became the vice president of my local union, because I always advocated for others, because I didn't know how to advocate for myself, and I never had people advocate for me, and so I became a voice to advocate for other people. So it's important that we learn how to advocate for ourselves and to advocate for others, and to really um, maintain that integrity, because I think that we need integrity more than anything right now, because I feel like we have a loss of integrity all around us. Everything's like pure chaos right now, and having integrity and these values of beautiful like connection, and kindness and compassion and integrity, all these things are intrinsic in our being, and to bring about something that is, you know, a better way of being, a more connected way of being, a way that we can thrive and grow in a more beneficial way for humanity. So um, us stepping up and taking the forefront and being the ones who speak up and things like that and advocate is really, really important. It's going to continue to be more important. So let me know what your experience is in the comments with, how you feel about this. Were you someone who picked up the slack often, who everything fell on your shoulders, and maybe you had to bear the brunt of everything? Are you someone who had to who experienced that? I would really like to know what your experience with that is. Share in the comments. Also, thank you for being here, and like and subscribe if you can. I would really appreciate that. And don't forget, the Calm Collective is happening March 7th, Friday, March 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Group hypnotherapy online. Very wonderful experience. Don't worry if you've never done hypnosis before. I'm not going to make you, cluck like a chicken or anything like that. You have complete control over your body. You're fully awake when this happens. Very, very relaxing. You will love it. I promise. Anyways, check out the description below. I'll put a link for that if something you're interested in. And that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Have an awesome day. Take care. Bye.